Yeah, bringing back, losing a senior class that we did, 19 starters amongst our 16 seniors that graduated, a lot of new faces and new places, but I will tell you this team has been very, very coachable. We've had young kids who kind of sat and watched for 2 years who really have been waiting for their opportunity. This year's their opportunity for a lot of them. So they've come in, they're hungry, they're coachable, they want to be here. I think they genuinely like each other. So the vibe around the team has been really, really good. Whether or not that pays off on Friday nights, we'll find out. But I really like where we are from a team standpoint, a building standpoint, a skill standpoint. Obviously a lot of work to do, but we'll keep working with them. We really like the pieces that we have for sure.
On the offensive side, breaking in a new starting quarterback, you got a few reps last season, a little taste of it, but you do bring back a couple of pretty talented running backs, right. Guys that are still young but have been productive. So how does that set the tone for what you want to do offensively, having two bell cows?
It's a good problem to have. Kamel Moore, as we're looking at our offense last season, was going to be our guy, and then, injuries happen and got knocked out preseason scrimmage there and missed the first 7 weeks, came back Adams Central week, and still ended up leading us in rushing as we factored the tournament in. So he's very explosive, and we've known that about Kamel for a long time, since watching him run in 8th grade. So he's going to carry the bulk of the carries, but then last year, Cooper Craig, you always talk to kids about waiting for their opportunity, and Cooper was a kid who played in middle school we really liked, but never really thought, he's going to help us right away. And to his credit, once he got that opportunity, he cashed in. He's an all-conference player for us last year as a freshman in the ACAC, which is a run-heavy conference for sure. So feel good having both of them. Our challenge now is, okay, what kind of formations and things can we run to get them both involved a little bit more? We're going to look different than we did last year, specifically on offense. But, you got to call plays based on personnel, and we really like both of them. Want to get them both on the field and get them touches for sure.
Tell me about this defense. I know, Griffin had a pretty good season last year. He'll probably be one of the core players for you guys on that side of the football. What sticks out to you about this defense, and who are some of the guys stepping into bigger roles defensively? Yeah,
you mentioned Griffin. It starts with him. When we updated our projected starters, I looked at last year against the regional game against Lures, and Griffin's the only name on the list who started that game last year in our defense. So we're going to be young. We don't quite have the size that we had last year, but I think we're probably a step or two faster. But getting these kids kind of caught up to the speed of the game is going to be a challenge. We're going to have 4 juniors starting in the secondary. We're going to have 4 juniors starting at linebacker. And then, our 2 seniors up front and then another junior. So we're junior heavy, but just not very experience heavy. So I like the way they've gelled so far. Like I said, they're flying to the football. But, when those bullets start flying for real here on Friday, we'll kind of see how long it takes to get up to speed.
How valuable was the experience that these guys have gained over the last couple of years, sitting and watching or, being smaller parts of the offensive defense, but watching those juniors and seniors turn the program into a 10-win program, turn it into a back-to-back sectional champion? How much of that experience will pay off, and what have they gleaned from them?
Yeah, you couldn't ask for a better senior class to learn from than the one that just left here. Bluffton's been playing football for 104 years, and they're the winningest class we've ever had here. So that group was obviously instrumental to what we've been trying to build as a program here over the course of, my 8 years here, and then the guys who were before me. So you couldn't pick a better group to learn from. One thing you look at, teams that are successful year in and year out, your Adams Centrals, your Snyders, your Bishop Lures and things like that, well, they win playoff games, they get extra weeks of practice. So these young guys got 6 extra weeks of practice over the course of the last 2 years, and that's invaluable reps that you wouldn't normally get. So, like I said, they've been patient, they've watched, they've learned, and now they're excited for their chance to step in for sure.
Final question for me, if there's an X factor or a key for you guys to having the success that you want to have this season, what is that in your eyes?
Yeah, we're breaking in a whole new offensive line, whole new defensive line, really a whole new defense, and just how quickly that those kids can kind of gel. Your offensive line's your most important unit on the field. So we like the pieces that we have, they just never have played together. The last 2 years we started the same 5 on the O-line every single snap. So losing that is a big deal, but like I said, like pieces, but their ability to gel together is going to be the X factor, I think. And just these young skill kids kind of getting experience, and we're going to do some dumb young kid things, but the goal is, by about week 9, week 10, we've kind of ironed those things out heading into the playoffs.